In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on June 6, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Arizona Diamondbacks versus Cincinnati Reds. We're diving into the opening contest of a 3-game National League Series. The Arizona Diamondbacks are making their way to take on the Cincinnati Reds, with the action set to unfold inside the Great American Ballpark on a Friday evening. This matchup should offer some interesting insights for those looking at game outcomes. The Diamondbacks roll into this series riding a wave of momentum, currently on a 4-game winning streak. Their latest victory was particularly dramatic, as they erupted for 7 runs in the 9th inning just yesterday to snatch the win. The Reds, unfortunately, find themselves trending in the complete opposite direction, having lost 4 of their last 5 games, a stretch that has undoubtedly been frustrating for their fans. Looking at tonight's pitching matchup, the Diamondbacks are planning to start Eduardo Rodriguez. Rodriguez is just coming off a shoulder injury that landed him on the injured list. Before that injury, he had a rough go of it in May, giving up 13 runs over the course of 12 innings pitched. These struggles weren't isolated to just May, as throughout the year, he's only managed to pitch in 2 games where he surrendered fewer than 3 runs. It will certainly be interesting to see if he's able to turn things around and find his form following his stint on the injured list. One potential positive for him and the Diamondbacks is the recent offensive struggles of the Reds. Cincinnati has been batting a paltry .188 over their past 6 games and has only managed to score a total of 16 runs during that span. These hitting woes have become a persistent and common concern for the Reds lineup. I'm not entirely sure that arrested and recovered Eduardo Rodriguez is exactly good news for this scuffling Reds offense. On the other side of the diamond, we're expecting to see Nick Lodolo take the mound for the Reds. Looking back at last month, he posted a 4.01 earned run average, having given up 15 runs in 33.2 innings of work. While those numbers aren't necessarily terrible, the concerning part for Cincinnati is that the team has gone just 1-5 in his last 6 starts, indicating they haven't been able to capitalize even when he pitches reasonably well. This downward trend for the Reds is certainly not a good sign, especially when they're going up against a Diamondbacks team that has been swinging the bats well recently. Arizona has scored a total of 38 runs and is batting a collective .266 over their past 6 games. Additionally, the Diamondbacks have been a productive offensive team on the road this year, averaging an impressive 5.2 runs per game in away games. I firmly believe that if the Diamondbacks can manage to hit that offensive average in this game, the Reds will find it extremely difficult to keep the game close. While I might not be completely obsessed with the current state of Arizona's pitching, I find myself trusting Rodriguez more than I can trust the Reds' ability to consistently hit the ball. As our first pick for this matchup, the Arizona Diamondbacks money line is our full game side pick. It's fair to say that neither of these teams is currently playing their absolute best brand of baseball right now, despite Arizona's recent hot streak. The Diamondbacks did seem to wake up and find their bats in Atlanta, but it's important to remember that before that series, they had lost 9 of their previous 10 games, which is a significant slump. There's also a possibility that the Diamondbacks could be approaching this game as a bullpen game, which would allow them the flexibility to find the pitcher with the hot hand and roll with whoever is performing well against this particular Cincinnati lineup. The Reds' recent struggles as a team haven't really been the fault of their starter, Nick Lodolo. He actually boasts a solid 3.1 earned run average, yet the team has still found themselves on the losing end in 4 of his last 5 starts, which speaks more to a lack of run support or bullpen issues. His strikeout-to-walk ratio is quite strong at 60 strikeouts to just 14 walks, and he's coming off an excellent outing where he pitched 6 scoreless innings against the best team in the National League Central, as he completely blanked the Chicago Cubs. Looking at recent trends for Cincinnati, their games have tended to be lower scoring, with the under hitting in 5 of their last 7 contests. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Cubs versus Detroit Tigers. It's Friday evening, and that means it's time for some baseball as the Chicago Cubs, holding a record of 38-23 with a 32-29 run line record and a 33-22-6 over-under mark, get ready to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers, sitting at 41-23 for the season, with a 34-30 run line record and a 30-29-5 over-under, will be hosting this series opener. This matchup should be a good one for those interested in game outcomes. Detroit is handing the ball to their ace, Tarik Skubal, who many consider to be arguably the best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball right now. His presence on the mound is a massive factor, and the expectation is that he will effectively limit the Cubs' offensive production, which should pave the way for Detroit to grab the win in this series opener. Skubal has been consistently dominant throughout the season, making him incredibly difficult for opposing teams to hit or score runs against, and there's little reason to believe he won't continue that trend by shutting down Chicago's offense. On the other side, the Cubs will be starting Ben Brown, who has had a bit of an up-and-down season so far, showing flashes of good pitching but also moments of struggle. Meanwhile, the Tigers' offense has been quite solid when playing in their home ballpark, and they should be able to string together some timely hits and put enough runs on the board to secure a victory in this first game of their three-game set. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Tigers money line is our full game side pick. With a pitcher of Tarik Skubal's caliber on the mound for the Tigers, looking at the under for the total runs scored seems like a really strong play here. The Detroit ace has a well-earned reputation for limiting opposing offenses, and it's highly likely that he'll pitch deep into this game, probably going 7 or more innings, while allowing 2 or fewer runs. Ben Brown, while not as consistently dominant as Skubal, is certainly capable enough on the mound to only give up a couple of runs himself, especially if he's on his game. This contest has the feel of a tight, lower-scoring affair, perhaps something in the range of a 4-2 or 4-1 type of victory for the Tigers. It's true that the Chicago Cubs have been one of the best teams in Major League Baseball when it comes to their games hitting the over this season, largely due to their potent offense. However, the Skubal factor is a significant one, and his presence on the mound should be more than enough to counteract that trend and help keep the total score down. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Kansas City Royals versus Chicago White Sox. It's Friday evening, and that means American League Central Baseball action is on the docket as the Kansas City Royals, holding a 32-30 record, get ready to square off against the Chicago White Sox, who sit at 20-43. This contest, kicking off a 3-game series, will unfold at Wright Field, and it's certainly one that those interested in game outcomes will be watching closely. The Kansas City Royals are diligently working to climb the ladder in the American League wild card race, a testament to the competitive nature of the American League Central, which continues to be a surprisingly strong division this year. They've managed to secure victories in 4 of their last 7 games, a stretch that has seen them face some pretty tough competition, so they're definitely battle-tested. Fortunately for them, this series presents what many would consider a bit of a breather, as they'll be taking on one of the teams that has struggled the most in baseball this season. Despite some inconsistencies with their own offense at times, the Royals should find opportunities to get their bats hot against the White Sox starter, Davis Martin. Martin has had his share of struggles on the mound, particularly because he often doesn't receive much offensive support from his own team. The White Sox have a grim 2-10 record in games that he has started. On the mound for the Royals will be Seth Lugo. Lugo has already faced the White Sox once this season back in May, an outing where he pitched a solid 6.2 innings and earned the win. Given that previous success and the current form of both teams, I'm anticipating a similar positive result for Lugo and the Royals on Friday. As our first pick for this matchup, the Kansas City Royals money line is our full game side pick. When you take a deeper dive into the road and home splits for this season's starting pitchers, there's a reasonable expectation that both could fare well in terms of limiting runs, at least on paper. For the Royals, Seth Lugo, when pitching on the road, has a 1-2 record with a 4.19 earned run average. Opponents have managed a .230 batting average against him over 19.1 innings, which encompasses 3 road starts. On the White Sox side, Davis Martin, in his home starts at Wright Field, has a 1-2 record as well, but with a more more appealing 3.03 earned run average and a solid 1.18 WHIP across 35.2 innings pitched over 6 starts. A critical factor to consider in this matchup is the performance of these two offenses with runners in scoring position. Both teams have been among the worst in baseball in these crucial situations this season. The White Sox find themselves tied with the Baltimore Orioles for 28th in the league, sporting a meager .626 team OPS when they have runners in scoring position. The Royals have fared even worse, sitting dead last with a .614 team OPS in those same scenarios. This inability to capitalize on scoring chances often leads to lower scoring games. Adding to this perspective, the under has indeed hit in 3 of the 4 games played between these two teams so far this season. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Toronto Blue Jays versus Minnesota Twins. Minnesota is looking to get back on track after a tough loss, and they'll have their chance this Friday as they play host to Toronto. This game kicks off a 3-game weekend series between the two clubs, and it's certainly one that folks interested in game outcomes will have their eyes on. Bailey Ober has a history of pitching very effectively against the Toronto lineup. In his career, he's put together a strong 2.7 earned run average and has racked up 34 strikeouts over the course of 5 meetings with the Canadian club. That kind of track record against a specific opponent can definitely give a pitcher and his team a mental edge. On the flip side, Toronto's pitching situation for this particular game seems a bit uncertain. Their options appear to be somewhat limited, and if they decide to hold their ace, Kevin Gausman, back for Saturday's game, they might find themselves needing to piece things together. This could mean resorting to a bullpen game where multiple relievers cover the innings, or potentially calling up a pitcher from their AAA affiliate, especially following Lucas's recent demotion earlier this week. This potential instability on the mound for the Blue Jays could give the Twins a noticeable advantage. Minnesota has been a formidable force when playing in front of their own fans, especially since mid-April, boasting an impressive 14-3 record in that stretch. Overall, their home record stands at a strong 18-8. The Blue Jays, conversely, haven't found much success when playing away from the Rogers Center this year, as evidenced by their 11-16 win-loss record on the road. With all these factors considered, I believe the Twins' well-established home dominance will continue to hold true, and Bailey Ober will effectively guide them to a victory in this series opener. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Twins money line is our full game side pick. Minnesota's pitching staff has been performing at an exceptionally high level recently, and that effectiveness has been even more pronounced when they're pitching at their home ballpark, Target Field. With a stellar 2.75 home team earned run average, the Twins rank an impressive 4th across all of Major League Baseball in that category. They've also done a great job of keeping the ball in the park at home, giving up just 20 home runs. Their ability to miss bats is also noteworthy, as they've struck out an impressive 262 batters in 236 innings pitched at home, which translates to a fantastic strikeout rate of 9.99 per 9 innings. However, it's interesting to note that the opposite also holds true for their offense in that same environment. The Minnesota lineup has posted a .702 home OPS, a figure that places them down in 21st in MLB, suggesting they haven't been as potent at the plate at home as their pitching has been on the mound. The Blue Jays, meanwhile, have been struggling significantly to hit the ball with any authority when playing on the road. They are currently sporting a .641 OPS away from home, which ranks as the 5th worst in MLB, a stark contrast to their much more respectable .786 OPS when playing in their own ballpark. Looking at game totals, Toronto has gone 10-16-1 on the over-under when playing on the road this year. The Twins have a similar trend at home, with an over-under record of 9-16-1 in their games at Target Field. Considering these offensive struggles, particularly for the Blue Jays on the road and the Twins' strong home pitching, all signs seem to be pointing towards the score staying on the lower side this Friday. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. San Diego Padres versus Milwaukee Brewers. The stage is set for a National League battle as the San Diego Padres make their way to Cream City to kick off a 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Both teams are looking to grab a win in this opening contest, which takes place at a familiar venue. The Milwaukee Brewers enter this game as one of the hottest teams in baseball, currently riding the momentum of a 7-game winning streak. They also had a day off on Thursday, so everyone should be feeling refreshed and ready to go. On the other side, the Padres are coming off off a loss in San Francisco on Thursday afternoon, where they dropped 2 of 3 games to the Giants. The travel schedule wasn't kind to them, as they played that afternoon game in California and then had to immediately head east for this weekend's series in Milwaukee. The pitching matchup for this game isn't particularly exciting on paper, as Chad Patrick is slated to take the mound for the Brewers, while the Padres will counter with Randy Vasquez. Vasquez has been largely unimpressive for the Padres since they acquired him in the Juan Soto deal, struggling to find consistency. He has a troubling tendency to give up both a lot of home runs and a lot of walks, which puts runners on base and creates scoring opportunities for the opposition. Honestly, when I look at his performances, I'm a bit surprised that his earned run average is as low as it is at 3.99. A hot and confident Brewers team should definitely be able to take advantage of Vasquez's vulnerabilities on Friday night. Chad Patrick, on the other hand, has quietly put together a solid and reliable season for Milwaukee so far. Boasting a 2.97 earned run average, he has been remarkably consistent, not allowing more than 3 runs in any of his starts this year. His one potential flaw is that he doesn't typically pitch deep into games, often coming out before the later innings. Still, when I weigh all the factors in this game, I believe that the advantages are mostly tilting in favor of the home team. For those reasons, I'm going to back the Brewers to continue their hot streak and secure the win. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Brewers money line is our full game side pick. Chad Patrick will be getting another opportunity to showcase his skills in the rotation for the Brewers, and he's proven to be a valuable and strong contributor to the club's success. While the 26-year-old right-hander has only managed to complete 6 full innings on just 4 occasions, he has consistently demonstrated an ability to limit damage, having surrendered 3 earned runs or fewer in all 12 of his starts this season, highlighting his reliability. He will be taking his impressive season stats, a 2.97 point, a 1.21 WHIP, and a solid 57-18 strikeout-to-walk ratio across 63.2 innings pitched into this home matchup, and I'm expecting him to effectively contain a potent Padres lineup that can explode at any time, so keeping runs at a minimum is key. Looking at San Diego's recent performances, the total has gone under in 4 of their last 6 road games, which could be a factor in the scoring output for the game. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game side pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.